Thompson, what exactly did the custodian report about this vandalism call?
Frank Martinez called dispatch about broken glass and possible property damage in the art room.
Any suspect?
Oh, hello, officer. Is everything okay? I'm just setting up my classroom for Monday.
Here's my teacher ID and my weekend building access card.
Miss Jasmine Carter, Lincoln High School English Department. How long have you been working here?
This is my 3rd year.
Ms. Jasmine Carter was doing weekend classroom prep work as a Lincoln High School English teacher. When custodial staff Frank Martinez discovered broken glass, officers Garcia and Thompson made the initial response. When the situation escalated, Supervisor Lieutenant Davis arrived and conducted a full investigation. One officer handled documentation, while another did ID verification, and the supervisor led the interrogation. Tonight, we'll examine how a teacher's weekend classroom preparation turned into a multi-level police investigation and the interaction between educational professionals and law enforcement hierarchy. If you follow this type of real educational workplace analysis, please subscribe and turn on notifications. These stories contain important insights about the institutional challenges faced by teaching professionals and police department protocols. Ms. Jasmine Carter, 29 years old, a passionate English teacher living in Phoenix. She has an English literature degree from Arizona State University and completed her teaching credential program summa cum laude. She has developed specialization in urban education, diverse student populations, and creative writing instruction. Lincoln High School is one of the challenging but rewarding schools in the Phoenix School District. 1,200 students, diverse demographics, mixed socioeconomic backgrounds. Jasmine is in her 3rd year here and has built a respected position in the department. The teaching profession is a demanding career. Lesson planning, grading, parent communication, professional development requirements. Jasmine has embraced these responsibilities and is deeply committed to student success. Weekend classroom preparation routine is part of her professional dedication. Jasmine's weekend routine is methodical. Saturday mornings, lesson plan review, Sunday afternoons, classroom organization, bulletin board updates, materials preparation. This schedule is optimized to maximize student engagement. Lincoln High School's weekend access policy is clear. Teachers must request authorization from the principal's office, obtain building access cards, maintain security awareness. Jasmine consistently follows these protocols and understands professional responsibility. Frank Martinez, 52 years old, has been providing custodial services at Lincoln High School for 8 years. He has responsibilities for building maintenance, security awareness, and weekend activity monitoring. A dedicated worker, vigilant about protecting school property. Frank's weekend routine: building inspection, identifying maintenance issues, ensuring security protocols. He's aware of teacher weekend activity, but sometimes unexpected situations can occur. That Saturday, January 11th, Jasmine was following her normal weekend preparation plan. She arrived at Lincoln High School at 1 p.m., confirmed building access authorization from the front office, and began classroom work. Jasmine's plan: update bulletin board from winter theme to spring semester theme, optimize student desk configuration, organize new semester supplies. She would use art materials, decorative elements, and educational posters. Classroom 237 is located in the English department corridor. Spacious room, large windows, flexible seating arrangements. Jasmine is trying to transform this space into a student-centered learning environment. The bulletin board project was Jasmine's priority. Remove old winter displays, install new motivational quotes, and spring themes. This process required removing old materials, preparing surfaces, attaching new elements. Around 2 p.m., Jasmine intensified her bulletin board work. While removing an old poster from a glass frame, the frame accidentally slipped, fell to the tile floor, and shattered. Broken glass scattered across the classroom floor. Jasmine immediately started cleanup. She collected glass pieces with a broom and dustpan. Safety was priority. But some small fragments remained in corners. Complete cleanup was challenging. Frank Martinez was doing routine building inspection. At 2:15 p.m., while patrolling the hallway, he observed activity from classroom 237. Door partially open, lights on, movement visible inside. Frank wasn't aware of Jasmine's authorization, a communication gap in administrative coordination. When he saw unfamiliar weekend activity, he became concerned. Glass sounds movement, potential unauthorized entry. Frank approached the classroom and observed broken glass on the floor. Property damage was evident. The situation raised alarm. Immediate assessment, possible vandalism, unauthorized building entry, security breach. Frank made a decision, contact police. School property protection was priority, unauthorized activity should be reported. 911 call, property damage at Lincoln High School, possible break-in, need police response. Dispatch assigned Phoenix Police Department Units 44 and 47. School vandalism call, possible unauthorized entry, Lincoln High School, 1247 West Thomas Road. Standard protocol, dual officer response for school property damage. Officers Antonio Garcia and Michael Thompson received the call. Garcia is a 6-year veteran, experienced in school-related calls. Thompson is a 4-year officer who prefers a community policing approach. The body cam footage you watched earlier shows the moment Garcia and Thompson approached the school building. Professional police response, institutional coordination, investigation preparation. Thompson, what exactly did the custodian report about this vandalism call at Lincoln High? Garcia is briefing with his partner on the situation. Pre-approach coordination is important for effective response. Frank Martinez from Lincoln High School called dispatch about broken glass and possible property damage in the art room. Thompson is reviewing incident details to ensure accurate information. Building approach was professional and systematic. As Garcia and Thompson approached the Lincoln High School entrance, they discussed investigation strategy. School property cases require careful handling and community sensitivity. Entry into school building interior, fluorescent lighting, empty hallways, weekend quiet atmosphere. Frank Martinez met the officers at the main entrance, ready to explain the situation. Officers, I'm Frank Martinez, custodian here. I found broken glass in classroom 237. Someone's been moving around in there without authorization. Frank expressed professional concern. Building security was priority. Garcia made a situation assessment. Legitimate custodial concern, property damage reported, unauthorized activity suspected. It was necessary to activate investigation protocol. Mr. Martinez, show us the classroom. We need to assess the damage and identify who's responsible. Garcia's professional response, evidence collection was priority. Walk to classroom 237, echoing footsteps in hallway, institutional environment, investigation atmosphere building. Frank was leading, officers following, approaching the scene. Pause at classroom door, interior assessment before entry. Jasmine inside, continuing cleanup process, unaware of police arrival. Scene, scattered glass fragments, art materials, obvious classroom preparation work. Garcia's initial observation, teaching materials evident, bulletin board work in progress, educational environment obvious. But property damage concern was legitimate, investigation necessary. Ma'am, police, we need to speak with you about property damage in this classroom. Garcia's professional approach, investigation must begin. Jasmine's surprised reaction, oh, hello, officer. Is everything okay? I'm just setting up my classroom for Monday. Professional educator response, offering cooperation. At this point, situation complexity was evident. Educational work was obvious, but property damage concern was legitimate. Investigation required careful assessment, considering multiple perspectives. Ma'am, I received a report about possible vandalism or property damage in this school building. Garcia's factual approach, acknowledging the custodial report. Vandalism. No, sir, I'm Ms. Carter. I teach here. This is my classroom. I'm preparing for the new semester. Jasmine was asserting professional credentials, explaining legitimate presence. Thompson observed the situation, preparing additional questions. You teach here? Can I see your school identification and building access authorization? Documentation verification was necessary. Jasmine maintained cooperation. Of course, officer. Here's my teacher ID and my weekend building access card from the principal's office. Providing professional credentials. Garcia made examination. Ms. Jasmine Carter, Lincoln High School English Department. How long have you been working here? Employment verification process. This is my 3rd year teaching here. I always come in weekends to prepare my classroom for the new semester. Jasmine explained her work pattern to establish routine. Frank provided situation clarification. Officer, I'm the one who called. I found broken glass in the art room, didn't know she had weekend access. Acknowledging communication gap. Frank, I always notify the office when I come in weekends. The broken glass might be for my bulletin board project. Jasmine provided explanation, accident context. At this point, situation clarification was beginning. Legitimate educational work was evident, communication gap identified, accident explanation reasonable. But investigation protocol required more thorough assessment. Garcia made radio check, dispatch, Unit 44. Needs supervisor to Lincoln High School for investigation consultation. Situation escalation was appropriate, departmental oversight necessary. Lieutenant Rebecca Davis responded to the supervisor call. 12-year veteran with school district liaison experience and expertise in handling complex investigations. Departmental hierarchy was activating. Davis' arrival at scene, additional authority, investigation escalation, multi-officer coordination. Professional hierarchy evident, comprehensive assessment necessary. Officers, what's the situation here? Davis began scene assessment, assuming supervisor role. Leadership position clear, would determine investigation direction. Garcia provided briefing. Lieutenant Custodian reported property damage. We have teacher claiming legitimate access. Broken glass evident. Need to determine responsibility. Davis made scene observation. Educational materials obvious. Teacher credentials appearing legitimate. Custodial concern reasonable. Complex situation requiring careful judgment. Multi-officer coordination activated. Garcia would handle documentation. Thompson would continue ID verification. Davis would lead questioning. Professional division of labor, comprehensive investigation. Ms. Carter, I'm Lieutenant Davis. I need to ask you some detailed questions about your presence here today. Davis established supervisor authority. Formal questioning would begin. Jasmine's professional response, yes ma'am, I'm happy to answer any questions. I have all my authorization documents and can explain my classroom work. Maintaining cooperation. Davis's systematic questioning. Employment verification, weekend access protocols, classroom activity explanation, property damage account. Thorough investigation required comprehensive information. Garcia's documentation role, incident report preparation, timeline establishment, witness statements collection. Professional record, keeping to ensure legal standards were met. Thompson's verification role, confirm ID authenticity, validate school authorization, check administrative coordination. Handle technical aspects, establish credibility. Questioning process. Davis's supervisor experience was evident. She understood educational environment, recognized teacher professionalism. Would maintain investigation balance between legitimate concern and professional respect. Ms. Carter explained the broken glass situation. How did this property damage occur? Davis's fact-finding mission to distinguish accident versus vandalism. Jasmine's detailed explanation. Lieutenant, I was updating my bulletin board for spring semester. While removing an old poster, the glass frame slipped and broke on the floor. I immediately began cleanup. Davis's assessment, explanation reasonable, educational context obvious, accident scenario plausible. Property damage was not intentional, result of professional activity. Garcia's documentation update, accident classification, no criminal intent evident, educational work legitimate. Investigation findings, supported teacher's account. Thompson's verification complete. School ID authentic, weekend access properly authorized, teacher employment confirmed. Administrative clearance established. Frank Martinez provided additional context. Lieutenant, I should have checked office authorization before calling. I didn't recognize her weekend access approval. Acknowledging administrative oversight. Davis's situation resolution. Ms. Carter, our investigation indicates this was accidental property damage during legitimate educational work. You're free to continue your classroom preparation. Professional conclusion. No criminal activity. Administrative communication gap identified. Property damage accidental. Investigation complete. Educational work could resume. Garcia's report completion. Incident classification clear. No charges necessary. School district notification appropriate. Professional documentation standards met. Thompson's follow-up coordination. Custodial staff education about teacher weekend access. Communication protocol improvement recommendation. Suggesting preventive measures. Davis's departmental guidance. Mr. Martinez, teachers have legitimate weekend access when properly authorized. Please check office records before reporting suspicious activity. Educational respect. Police department acknowledged teacher professionalism, recognized importance of educational work. Professional courtesy should be maintained. Jasmine expressed appreciation. Thank you, officers, for your professional handling of this situation. I understand the security concerns and appreciate thorough investigation. Investigation aftermath. Misunderstanding clarified, communication improved, educational work respected. Professional cooperation was demonstrated between all parties. Frank's learning opportunity should better understand teacher access protocols, improve communication with administration. Professional development necessary. School district notification. Incident report would be shared, weekend access communication would be improved, staff coordination would be enhanced. Promoting institutional learning. This experience was a reflection point for Jasmine. School security is important, but educational professionals' legitimate access should be respected. Communication is key to preventing misunderstandings. Lincoln High School learned from this incident. Teacher weekend access notification system was improved, custodial staff training updated, police liaison communication enhanced. Frank's professional growth. He better understood teacher work patterns, learned to balance security concern with educational support. Communication skills improved. Officers Garcia and Thompson gained valuable experience, understanding educational environment, recognizing teacher professionalism, maintaining investigation balance. Community policing skills enhanced. Lieutenant Davis demonstrated leadership, navigating complex situation, considering multiple perspectives, conducting fair investigation. Supervisor skills refined. This case study is used in police training programs, educational environment interactions, teacher rights recognition, investigation proportionality, community relations development. I want to ask you, how should balance be maintained between school security and teacher access rights? How can communication gaps be prevented in educational institutions? Jasmine now works in a senior teacher position at Lincoln High School. She has become an advocate for improving weekend access procedures and provides teacher rights education. Frank was promoted to custodial supervisor position. He coordinates teacher access protocols training and has developed communication skills. He achieved professional growth. Garcia and Thompson became school liaison officers. They handle educational institution relationships and focus on improving teacher-police cooperation. Lieutenant Davis became a police academy instructor. She teaches educational environment policing, community relations, and investigation ethics. She shares experience with next-generation officers. Lessons from this story. Educational professionals' legitimate weekend access should be respected. Communication gaps can create institutional misunderstandings. Police investigation should balance thoroughness with professional courtesy. Multi-officer coordination ensures effective investigation. Community institutions require mutual understanding for cooperation. The teaching profession is public service. Educators' professional work should be supported, legitimate access should be facilitated, communication should be enhanced for institutional coordination. School security is important, but educational mission should not be compromised. Balance is necessary between safety concerns and academic freedom. Law enforcement requires sensitive approach in educational environments. Should recognize teacher professionalism, respect educational work. Professional cooperation benefits everyone: students, teachers, administrators, security personnel, law enforcement. Community partnership strengthens educational outcomes. I'm curious in the comments, how have your educational workplace experiences been? Are school security measures balanced or intrusive? How can teacher rights be protected? If you want to follow this type of educational professional insights, don't forget to subscribe. Teaching profession challenges, institutional dynamics, and community relations are explored in these stories. Jasmine's story continues in the education field. Professional advocacy, student success focus, institutional improvement contribution. Challenging experiences can create positive outcomes with proper support. We will continue to examine experiences of educational professionals on this channel. Teaching challenges, institutional policies, community relations, all of their stories are important for understanding the educational ecosystem. Educational heroes shape society's future on a daily basis. Recognizing and supporting their dedication, professionalism, and student commitment is everyone's responsibility.